I have always loved a good ghost story. Ghosts awakened by unsuspecting kids playing with a Ouija board, or ones that try to communicate with the living to solve their murder. Some wanting retribution for desecrating their burial site, maybe possessing a person to go on a killing spree, or a ghostly crew sailing the seas looking for the treasure they lost when they were killed, or those that don't even realize that they're dead. People have trouble pinning down the origins of the word ghost. Some think ghost derived from ghost, which was Old English or Anglo-Saxon, and is the earliest recorded form of the English language. The world's oldest known drawing of a ghost is on a 3,500-year-old Babylonian clay tablet that's believed to be part of an exorcist guide. It has a bearded man with his arms outstretched and wrists tied by a rope held by a young woman, leading him to the afterlife. The back of that tablet contains instructions for dealing with unwanted ghosts, including a ritual that involves calling on the sun god. The ritual ends with a warning, "Do not look behind you." In a 2021 poll of 1,000 American adults, 41% said they believe in ghosts, and 20% said that they had personally experienced them. Ghosts can be benevolent spirits to malevolent entities. These stories are not only meant to entertain, but also to reflect the fears, values, and traditions of societies. In folklore, a ghost is often the soul of a spirit of a dead person or animal that is believed to be able to appear to the living. Ghostlore is a word that describes traditional beliefs and folklore surrounding ghosts and hauntings. Horror movies always seem to have their subgenres revolving around certain time periods. The 80s was the slasher movie phase. Guys running around with knives, machetes, chainsaws, pickaxes, and anything else psycho killers could get their hands on. The early 90s time frame didn't have much in terms of horror until the movie Scream came out. Then most of the 90s were Scream type movies that didn't have much meat on the bones, but were kind of fun to watch. By the end of the 90s, found footage became a thing, and some were pretty good. Then with the help of Japanese films, more ghost stories were being told. Japan ghost lore goes back to the indigenous Ainu people. Kamui is a spiritual or a divine being that means a supernatural entity possessing spiritual energy. They were portrayed in chants and ceremonies, which were often performed during sacred rituals. Yurei are figures in Japanese folklore that are most like the Western concept of ghosts. They are thought to be spirits borrowed from a peaceful afterlife. Yokai is a Japanese word for strange apparitions, and they are a class of supernatural spirits. According to traditional Japanese beliefs, all humans have a spirit or soul called a reikon. When a person dies, the reikon leaves the body and enters a form of purgatory, where it waits for the proper funeral rites to be performed so that it may join its ancestors. Tengu are a type of mischievous supernatural beings. Tengu masks are sometimes worn today during Shinto festivals when individuals perform the role as temple guardians. Oni is a kind of demon, ogre, or troll. They're believed to live in caves or deep in the mountains. There are different types of Oni who are known for their superhuman strength and have been associated with powers like thunder and lightning, along with their propensity for murder and cannibalism. As reading and writing became more popular, authors began using this ghost lore to tell stories in poems, plays, books, and finally movies. What may be the most well-known is a story written in 1825 called Yotside Kaidon. It's about betrayal, murder, and ghostly revenge. It's been adapted for film over 30 times and continues to be an influence on Japanese horror today. The first influential Japanese horror films were the kaiju monster films. Gamera, Mothra, Gorgo, Gudara, Rodan, and of course Godzilla were just a few of them. They've also had some good zombie movies and a lot of success with horror-themed anime, manga, and a few video games. But not all of these fall into the ghost lore category. Japanese movie ghost lore took off in 1998 with the film Ringu. It's a supernatural horror based on a 1991 Japanese novel. It follows a reporter who is racing to investigate the mystery behind a cursed videotape. Whoever watches the tape dies 7 days after doing so. And it was remade in 2002 and called The Ring. Ringu brought global interest to Japanese horror cinema. Movies like Ju-on, later renamed and called The Grudge, then Pulse, One Missed Call, and Dark Water. The popularity of Japanese horror led to the coining of the term J-Horror in the West. And the success of these launched quite a few more Ghostlore style movies. When I was younger, I loved the slasher stuff that was full of gore and jump scares, with things like Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, Halloween, The Hills Have Eyes, and later some of the home invasion stuff, and even a movie like Terrifier can still be fun. But these days, I find myself rewatching movies like The Night House, Session 9, The House of the Devil, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, The Witch, The Dark and the Wicked, and the movies with Ghostlore themes that are usually slower and more atmospheric. J-Horror has quite a bit of great stuff, from the graphic and nasty to the more spooky and sublime. If you've never ventured into some of these, I recommend giving some of them a shot. Good night.